Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Melanie and on my channel, Our Tropical Soil, I talk about growing food in the tropics. I've been gardening for around a year now, a little bit more, and I haven't ordered mulch yet. I was just using like leaves and maybe some twigs and stuff that we ground up ourselves with our own wood chipper, but I haven't ordered. Up to this point, I hadn't ordered any like large truck of mulch that is always recommended to do. So I had a ton of weeds growing everywhere. I had taken out a lot of the grass, so I just had like these random little weeds that will grow, and it was all very disproportionate. Some would grow more, some would grow less, and it looked really bad. And this was happening in multiple places of our yard because we have like multiple gardening areas. So I finally decided to go online and look for one of those wood chip delivery companies. The first company I found was Get Chip Drops, so I just went with them and I signed up. It was really easy. So they have like a map, and it shows you basically who in the area has gotten wood chips and how long it took for them to get the wood chips. So there was no one in my area that had gotten a wood chip delivery. And the only people like in South Florida that had wood chip deliveries were like probably like 50 miles from me. So I was also really worried, and it said that they had taken them like an entire year to get the wood chips. So I was not expecting wood chips really fast at all. But I ended up getting an email about like a week after I signed up, maybe like 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks. And it said that I should be expecting a delivery in 48 hours. So I was really excited because it was right around my birthday, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna get wood chips for my birthday and it's gonna be great. And I ended up not getting any wood chips. I guess the company didn't want to deliver. I don't know what happened, but whatever. So apparently, I think when someone goes, like a company, like a wood chipper company person goes in and says like, oh, we're gonna deliver to this house, it like registers, the website registers it as like a delivery to you, and then they remove you off the list so you don't get like a new delivery because you don't accept the delivery. They just like send it to you, so you might not want a second delivery, so they remove you off the list. And that's what happened to me. And I probably took like 2 weeks after I got that email saying I was gonna get wood chips to be like, oh, let me re-register again. So I ended up re-registering, and I got the delivery in the next day. So I registered, I think it was Friday, and I got the delivery on Saturday. So we got a whole truck of wood chips, and it was really unexpected because I signed up anticipating that the delivery would take like weeks, if not more. So we got the delivery, and we like rushed, and we had to take out a ton of weeds. So I'm gonna take you outside and show you how much mulch we got and where we ended up putting it, so you could have some idea about how much mulch it really is, because I was kind of shocked about how much mulch it took. I thought we'd need like 4 trucks or something to fill up all of our garden areas, but with one truck we filled it up, and we had like extra that we just had to pile on in places. Here we are outside to where the wood chip deliveries were delivered. So it basically took up everything here, like all the way to up here. I'd say this is probably like 15 to 20 feet to another 15 feet. So it was a pretty big area, and probably like 6 feet, maybe more in height. So it was a huge load. It was like an entire truck, like the big trucks that they have to lift up the back to drop the load. So it was a lot of wood chips, and we had it delivered right here in front of our gate to have easy access to get the wood chips and spread it around the garden. So we have a lot of holes like this with trees planted in it, and just in the front we probably have like 7 holes, and in the back we might have like maybe 20 holes like this. So we put wood chips in all those holes in all of our big garden areas. So we also put wood chips here in my herb garden, and I have a tour of that right before we put the wood chips that I'm going to link here in the screen. So there's wood chips all over here, and honestly it's not like, I don't know if it's even close to maybe even 75% wood chips, maybe it's like half and half, but there was like a lot of leaf. So you see there's like leaf and there's wood chips, but I mean I don't really mind because mulch is mulch. So we have wood chips all over here and wood chips all over here, everywhere, and we put a good amount back here, but again because it's the leaf mulch, it'll like dry up and then sort of be less in size, but we put a lot. And right here in this little circle thing we have going on here, and the plants are already like way happier because these were kind of yellow and now they're already starting to green up, and they're way happier. It's pretty amazing, like the difference that mulch makes. So now I'm in my backyard, and our backyard is pretty big. Our entire property is pretty big, really. So from the front to the back and everything all included, I'd say we have about an acre here. And I mean, we barely have any places that's just bare soil. It's mostly grass with fruit trees planted in the holes. But here we have this little area that my dad cleared out, and we put mulch all over here. And I'll be doing a tour in the future about all the fruit trees we have planted all the way to the back, everywhere, like the whole property, like a long video about that. And I'll leave it linked here so you guys could check it out when it's out in the future. So just a lot of mulch. This thing is pretty big right here, this area, and these are just sticks and stuff that we need to grind up with our own wood chipper. But mulch here, and then we have another bed over here, and we put a lot of mulch in this one too. We sort of piled it up in here because there was just so much mulch, we didn't even know what to do with it, so we just threw it all in here. So this soil is going to be really nice after this all decomposes. And right here you can see there's like these ball things, so it seems that the tree that they ground up had like these fruits. So yeah, I don't know if these will end up sprouting or not, but it shouldn't be too bad to pull them out because they'll just be growing in the mulch and they won't be really attached. So this whole bed, and then that one over there, and then we have a third bed like this whole bed too. And again, like in the other one, we just piled the center up with a bunch of wood chips. There's probably like maybe 6 or 7 inches of mulch there in the center. On the right is our composting system, and here's the garden where the food forest was that I ended up taking out, and I'll do a video about that also in the future that I'll link here so you can see what's going to be grown here and why I decided to take it out. So this whole area is pretty big. I'd say this area that we put mulch in is probably longer than 50 feet and maybe like 30 feet wide or something. I don't know, it's pretty big. So there's just a ton of mulch all over here, filled up all of this. Just one truck, there's like maybe 9 inches of mulch here. Mulch all over. I didn't put mulch here because I have a lot of seedlings planted, and if I did then they wouldn't have come up. But mulch absolutely everywhere. This was all full of weeds. This here, so we didn't do a whole lot of weeding. This whole area here had a good amount of weeds, especially back there. This not so much because here's where the food forest was. and there was like ground covers and stuff, so there was really no weeds here. But here we had like these little tiny weeds that they were kind of a pain to take out. Like you'd pull them and they would just break because they were so weak. But we just came in with the weed whacker and cut it real low and then piled on the mulch. And I figured that all of those weeds would die, and then if there was any grass it would come up and it wouldn't be that bad to take it out. Like it would be preferable to take out the few pieces of grass that came out instead of having to go and take out all those little tiny weeds. So I'll update you on how that's going and if I would recommend that in the future, because that's just an experiment. I don't know for sure how it'll go, but mulch everywhere. So one truck of mulch is more than enough, and I was like so excited after the mulch I wanted to order more mulch, but thankfully I didn't, because we would have like nowhere to put it. The weeds haven't really come up. There's just been some grass that has popped up in some areas, but nothing major, and it's been like a week since we finished adding mulch, so we'll see how it does. And here I have some perennial peanuts, so it'll grow over the mulch and help keep the weeds down even more. You see there's some grass popping up there. It's mostly in the areas where the mulch is like pretty shallow, but in the places where the mulch is thick, there's really no weeds coming up. I also put mulch in these little raised beds here that have like these lettuces, because they would dry out a little bit during the day and then the lettuces would get really sad looking. So they're doing better. I didn't even water them yesterday, and this one's still looking good, and it's the middle of the day. Have you ever ordered wood chips from one of these chip drop companies? And if so, let me know down below in the comments how your experience was. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red button down below. And I'm going to leave a video for you to watch next that I'll link right here.